Look at me when I am talking to you. Do you understand the gravity of what you have done? You have ruined everything.
The afternoon sun blazed mercilessly over the compound in Enugu as Adiz looked up to see her husband striding toward her, his face twisted with disgust. Behind him, his mother followed, and a crowd of neighbors, relatives, and even children gathered, drawn by the promise of drama. "Stand up," Chikwudi commanded. Adiz rose slowly, her legs trembling. "What is it, my husband?" He turned to the growing crowd, raising his voice so everyone could hear. "I have called you all here as witnesses. For 5 years, I have endured shame in my own house." Adiz's heart hammered against her ribs. "Chikwudi, what are you saying?" "This woman," he pointed at her with venom, "is unclean. Her private parts smell like rotten fish, like a decomposing corpse. I cannot continue to live with such a woman." The words hit Adiz like physical blows. The compound erupted in gasps, whispers, and barely concealed laughter. "No, that's not true," Adiz whispered. "Pack your things," Chikwudi said coldly. "Leave my house. I am marrying Chioma next month. A proper woman." As Adiz stumbled away in shock, her life shattered by a single lie, she had no idea that 3 years later, she would. Hello guys, welcome to my African Tales. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe and share it with your friends, and most important thing, turn your notification bell so you can get informed when I dropped another amazing story. Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments. What would you do if your spouse tried to kill you and you survive? Will you take a revenge or disappear forever? 5 hours earlier, Adiz knelt in the courtyard, pounding yam in the wooden mortar, while sweat trickled down her spine. She'd been married to Chikwudi for 5 years. 5 years of serving, cooking, cleaning, and enduring. 5 years of trying to conceive the child that would make her worthy in his eyes and in the eyes of his mother, Mama Nonso. She had no warning that this ordinary afternoon would become the worst day of her life. When Chikwudi gathered the crowd and made his devastating announcement, Adiz tried to defend herself. "I am clean. I wash every day, morning and night. This is a lie." But Mama Nonso stepped forward. "My dear, we have tried to help you. I have given you herbs, shown you how to wash properly. But you refuse to listen." "It's true," Chikwidi's sister Ngozi added from the crowd. "I noticed it when we shared a room during last Christmas." Another betrayal. Another knife in Adiz's back. The crowd's disgust was palpable. In their community, such an accusation was a death sentence to a woman's reputation. Women covered their mouths. Men shook their heads. Children giggled. "Please," Adiz fell to her knees. "Please, let us talk inside. Why are you doing this?" "You have failed as a wife in every way," Chikwudi said. "No child. No cleanliness. Nothing." Then understanding dawned. "So, this is what this is about. You want to marry Chioma, so you create this evil lie to throw me out. It is not a lie." Mama Nonso shrieked. "Tell them, Ngozi." Adiz stood slowly, her body trembling with rage. She looked at each face in the crowd, memorizing them. "You will regret this. Not today. Not tomorrow. But you will regret the day you told this lie against me." "Is that a threat?" Chikwudi turned to the crowd. "She is even a witch." Within an hour, Adiz packed her belongings into 2 bags. No one helped her. No one defended her. She walked out alone, head held high despite the shame burning through her veins. By evening, the story had spread through 3 villages. Adiz, the woman whose body stank. Adiz, the cursed, barren wife. Adiz, the disgrace. She returned to her father's house, but even there found no refuge. Her father looked at her with disappointment. Her stepmother turned away. "If it is true," her father said quietly, "you have brought shame to our family." "It is not true, Papa." But he didn't believe her. No one did. The following months blurred together in shame and isolation. Adiz became a ghost, moving through days mechanically. Her stepmother made it clear she wasn't welcome. At the market, traders refused to sell to her or overcharged her, knowing she had no power to protest. The whispers followed her everywhere. That is her, the one with the bad disease. No wonder she couldn't give him children. Adiz tried defending herself at the wives' meeting, but Mama Nonso had poisoned that well too. The women believed her. After all, why would a man make up such a thing? Depression wrapped around Adiz like a shroud. Some mornings, she couldn't leave bed. Some nights, she stood at the well contemplating jumping in. Her father saved her. Despite his disappointment, he sat with her in the evenings. Life is long, my daughter. Today is dark, but tomorrow, we cannot see tomorrow until it comes. Papa, I want to die. You will not. You are my daughter. You have my blood, and we do not break easily. 3 months later, Adiz made a decision. She couldn't rebuild her life surrounded by people who had judged and condemned her. She had a cousin in Lagos, far from the village gossip, far from Chikwudi and his new wife Chioma. With her small savings, she bought a bus ticket and left before dawn. Her father pressed Naira notes into her hand. Go and find your life again. Your mother was a strong woman. You have her strength. Use it. Lagos swallowed Adiz whole. The massive city's anonymity was a balm to her wounded spirit. Her cousin Ifeoma welcomed her and helped her find work at a cosmetic shop in Ikeja. Slowly, painfully, Adiz began to heal. The turning point came when the shop owner, Mrs. Oakley, noticed Adiz's talent for creating custom products. You are wasting your talent just selling. I will teach you the business. Under Mrs. Oakley's mentorship, Adiz learned everything. She worked from dawn until late night, pouring all her pain into building something of her own. She saved every kobo, eating little, spending nothing on herself. Within a year, she launched her own line of natural body care products, specializing in intimate hygiene, a deliberate, pointed choice that felt like reclaiming her narrative. Pure essence, she called it, for the woman who knows her worth. The business started small, but Adiz had rage-fueled determination. Every product was created with meticulous care. When a Lagos influencer discovered her products and posted about them, orders flooded in. Within another year, Pure Essence had become one of the fastest-growing beauty brands in Lagos. Money came, but more importantly, confidence returned. Adiz began taking care of herself again, nice clothes, salon visits, gym membership. She was reclaiming the body that had been weaponized against her. At a business networking event, she met Emeka, a civil engineer with kind eyes and an easy smile. They talked for hours. He was different, respectful, interested in her mind, patient with her guardedness. When he eventually asked about her past, she told him everything. She watched his face carefully, waiting for disgust or doubt. Instead, he took her hand. That man was a fool, and I am grateful for his foolishness because it brought you here, to me. You believe me? Of course. I know your character. Anyone who knows you would know those were lies. Something broke open in Adiz's chest. Tears streamed down her face. Their courtship was slow and healing. When Emeka proposed after a year, Adiz said yes with her whole heart. They married quietly in Lagos, and as he slipped the ring onto her finger, Adiz felt complete transformation. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was thriving. 3 years after fleeing the village, Adiz returned. Not in shame, but in triumph. Her father's 70th birthday was the occasion. Despite everything, he was still her father. Now that she had means, she wanted to honor him properly. Are you sure about this? Emeka asked. You don't owe anyone there anything. I'm going for Papa. And maybe for me too. I need to face that place as the woman I am now. They drove into the village in Emeka's Mercedes, Adiz dressed in expensive Ankara and gold jewelry. She'd paid for everything, decorations, food, musicians, drinks, and invited the entire village. When she walked into the community hall with Emeka, the place went silent. Recognition dawned on face after face. Gasps. Whispers. Shock. Is that Adiz? Look at her. Her father's face lit up. My daughter has come home. Women who had shunned her now tried to approach with fake smiles. Men who had laughed at her humiliation looked at her with envy. Then Mama Nonso walked in with Chikwudi and Chioma. Time hung suspended. Adiz watched Chikwudi's face cycle through emotions. Recognition, shock, disbelief, regret. Chioma, heavily pregnant and exhausted, clung to his arm. Mama Nonso had gone pale. Adiz, Chikwudi said uncertainly. You look well. I am well. Very well. This is my husband, Emeka. The two men shook hands stiffly. Chikwudi looked away first. I heard you have a business in Lagos, Mama Nonso said weakly.
Yes.
Pure essence. Perhaps you've heard of it. Women nearby gasped. That is your company? The one all over Instagram. The power shift was palpable. These people who had cast her out now looked at her with awe and envy. Adiz didn't gloat. She didn't need to. Her presence, her success, her happiness, it was enough. As the evening wore on, she noticed things. Chikwudi and Chioma barely spoke. Chioma looked miserable. Chikwudi drank heavily, his eyes following Adiz. Later, village gossips who suddenly wanted to be her friends again told her everything. Chikwudi's construction business had collapsed. His partner embezzled money and disappeared. He'd lost almost everything. Chioma was demanding and jealous, her family constantly interfering. The pregnancy was difficult, draining what little money remained. Mama Nonso had suffered a stroke. She could no longer speak clearly or move half her body. Chioma resented caring for her. Even Gozi approached with tears. Adiz, please forgive me. I was manipulated into lying. I have regretted it every day. Adiz looked at her betrayer. I forgive you, Ngozi. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean we're family again. Ngozi walked away crying. 3 months later, Adiz received a message that made her pause. It was from Chikwudi. Adiz, please. I need to speak with you. It's important. She showed it to Emeka that evening. What do you want to do? He asked. I want to hear what he has to say. Not for him. For me. I want to close that chapter completely. They met at a neutral restaurant. Emeka waited nearby while Adiz faced her ex-husband. Chikwudi looked terrible, older, thinner, desperate. Thank you for coming, he said hoarsely. What do you want, Chikwudi? I need your help. I'm drowning in debt. Chioma's medical bills were enormous. The baby has health issues requiring expensive treatment. My mother needs care. I have nothing left. Adiz listened in silence. I know I don't deserve it. I know what I did was evil. But please, Adiz, lend me money. Help me save my business. I'm begging you. Why did you do it? She asked quietly. Why did you lie about me like that? Chikwudi's face crumpled. My mother wanted me to marry Chioma. She had been planning it for months. Chioma's family has land, connections. But I was married to you. So Mama Nonso came up with a plan. Shame you so I wouldn't have to pay bride price back or deal with your family's questions. And you just went along with it. I was weak. I am weak. I wanted what Chioma's family could offer. He broke down, crying openly. I destroyed the one good thing in my life. You were a good wife. And I threw you away like garbage. I destroyed you for nothing. You didn't destroy me, Adiz said coldly. You tested me. You broke me down, yes. But I built myself back up into something stronger than you could ever imagine. You wanted to humiliate me? Instead, you set me free. Please, he sobbed. I'll do anything. I'll publicly apologize. I'll tell everyone the truth. You want me to save you with the money I made after you threw me out? You want me to rescue you from the life you chose? Adiz leaned forward. No. Adiz. I said no. Not because I hate you. You're not worth my hatred. I'm saying no because you need to face the consequences of your choices. You destroyed my reputation for money and status. Now you have neither. That's not my revenge. That's just karma. She stood, gathering her bag. Wait. Chikwudi grabbed her wrist desperately. You're just going to let my family suffer? Emeka appeared instantly. Let her go. Chikwudi released her, shrinking back. Adiz looked at him one last time. You are suffering not because I cursed you. You are suffering because you built your new life on lies, greed, and cruelty. That foundation was never going to hold. The soft revenge you're experiencing? It's the one you created for yourself. She walked away and didn't look back. In the car, Emeka held her as she cried, not for Chukwudi, but for the girl she used to be. Did I do the right thing? She asked. You did the only thing you could do, and still respect yourself. You didn't owe him anything. Helping him would have just enabled him to continue being who he is. Sometimes the kindest thing is letting people face their consequences. That night, Adiz called her father. Papa, Chukwudi came to me for money. I heard. What did you tell him? I told him no. After a long silence, her father said, Good. Your mother would be proud. Sometimes the best revenge is simply living well and letting foolish people destroy themselves. You've won, my daughter. Not by fighting, but by becoming more than they ever imagined you could be. In the following months, village gossip reached Adiz. Chukwudi had been forced to sell his family home. Chioma had left him, taking the baby back to her parents. Mama Nonso was living with a distant relative who resented the burden. Each time she heard these updates, Adiz felt nothing. No joy, no satisfaction, no guilt. Just quiet certainty that she had made the right choice. Pure essence continued to grow. She and Emeka were discussing starting a family. Her father was healthy and proud. Life was good, honestly, beautifully good. And that, Adiz realized, was the softest and most perfect revenge of all. Not destruction, but indifference. Not hatred, but healing. Not fighting back, but moving forward so completely that your enemies become irrelevant to your happiness. She had been thrown out like trash, but she had transformed herself into treasure. One evening, as she sat with Emeka on their balcony overlooking Lagos, watching the city lights twinkle like stars, she thought about everything she'd been through. The humiliation that nearly killed her had actually saved her. It had forced her to leave a place where she would have remained small, trapped, limited. It had pushed her into the world where she discovered her true strength. What are you thinking about? Emeka asked, squeezing her hand. I'm thinking that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the best thing. I'm thinking that I'm grateful. Grateful. For everything. Even for Chukwudi's cruelty. Because it led me here.
To you. To this life.
To becoming who I was always meant to be. Emeka pulled her close. You would have been extraordinary no matter what. But I understand what you mean. Sometimes we need to be broken down before we can be rebuilt into our truest selves. Adiz smiled, feeling peace settle over her like a warm blanket. She had survived the fire and emerged as gold. She had been destroyed by lies and rebuilt herself with truth. She had been thrown away and made herself priceless. And in the end, that was the only revenge that truly mattered, becoming so whole, so successful, so genuinely happy that the people who tried to break you became nothing more than a distant memory. A cautionary tale, a footnote in the story of your triumph. Chukwudi had tried to write her ending, but instead, he had given her a new beginning. And what a beautiful beginning it had become.